Hello everybody, my name's David and this is a pre-recording for the presentation I gave to a meeting on the 17th of June to the APM North Branch and the International Association for Strategy Professionals, Bridging the Gap, Connecting Strategy and Project Delivery. An introduction. This is me. I won't read it out. You can stop it and read it if you like. We're not going to offer you a definition of what strategy is. You can read that in textbooks and you probably know what it is already. But our perspective of strategy is that it fits in the middle of our businesses. All of us as directors are listening to the outside world, listening to our markets, listening for changes in regulation, listening to what our customers do, etc., etc. We're listening to what our owners want, the business owners want. And we're gathering those thoughts, those inputs. And if we're worth our salt, we're looking for opportunities, we're looking for threats, we're looking for imperatives, i.e. risks, and looking to put those alongside the goals that our owners provide. We're looking to evaluate how all that fits together. We're looking to derive and establish our business purpose and keep that fresh. And then from that purpose, develop the vision and strategy that will take us towards achieving that purpose. And we'll break the responses to that down into objectives for change, challenges for innovation, and targets for business as usual performance, which will set up organizational units to go ahead and do. And with the feedback from that, we'll understand our performance, we'll understand our strengths and weaknesses, and we'll cycle through this process. So for us, strategy isn't something that's ethereal, one-off. It's a living entity, and we'll keep cycling through it and revising it as appropriate to our situation. Well, that picture is very simplistic, but the reality is it's actually very, very complex. We might be able to work at a high level, at the corporate level, with respect to vision, but we have ideas that come from within our organization, from innovation that we need to stir in. There's complexity as to how that can break down, and it's difficult cascading it. So basically, the simple picture is far from the truth. And it's difficult, and just read up, search, you'll know from personal experience that strategy delivery is not simple. 2/3 to 3/4 of large organizations struggle to implement their strategies. That's what we heard from the Harvard Business Review. So strategy delivery is not easy. So why is strategy delivery not easy? Well, let's look at this from a number of perspectives. The first one is strategy delivery spans operational units. It spans workloads that we do in business as usual with operations management activity. It spans asset and product development, where we may be using product management and continuous agile product development. And we use project and program management when we're looking to coordinate systematic change. So essentially then, the achievement of our strategic objectives is not just about projects. Projects are crucial to aspects of that, but strategy delivery is not just about projects. So if we accept then that our strategy delivery is not just about projects and that we have to get things done through all parts of the business, we have to communicate to all parts of the business what the objectives are we want them to achieve, and of course be ready to listen to feedback and to readjust based on innovative ideas and suggestions. So we need to, for these objectives and sub-objectives, we have to prioritise. We have to deploy resources, funds and leadership time, so that when we ask someone to be accountable for an objective, they can in fact be fairly accountable, because we've empowered them with the means to be accountable. And we have to balance across our organisation. I hear people saying, I'm going to prioritise my project, Well, what we really do is prioritise a number of entities that we have to prioritise across, and a project may be one of those things in the mix. And of course, then we've got contention. We've got contention at the macro level between departments who might want to receive this level of funding or that, and also at the micro level when the IT manager is looking to deploy their IT specialist into their frontline service to hit the performance expectations that the business has of IT, and also cope with a project that needs an IT specialist to progress its business change. So we've got contention. We'll have to deal with it, and we also have to try and understand what performance is. How's everyone doing? Are we showing that we're worth the funding and leadership time and resourcing deployment that we've been given? And this is difficult, and the challenge is in some organisations that there may well be a gap between how we work and develop our strategy and how we work in the business, and there may well be a lack of support to enable this middle bit to be managed effectively. And I'll explain why I say that. Well, put simply, at the APM's PMO conference in July 24, we talked about the connection of strategy to delivery, and I asked the assembled group of about 100 or so PMO professionals, do you know who in your organisation is supporting the connection of strategy to delivery? And no one in that group, no one was able to put their hand up to say they understood who was supporting the connection of strategy to delivery. Well, clearly there is transmission of strategic intent to business areas, and progress is made on strategy. But strategy to delivery challenges do exist. And at another recent conference, this time with the APM's Governance Interest Network, back in October 24, we posed a number of questions. We asked about 400 attendees to comment on their organisation's clarity and communication with strategy. We asked them about how effective they were cascading and establishing accountability, how effective they were at prioritising and enabling people to be accountable. We talked about the methods and the capability they had to control, provide strategic agility, and pull the whole business picture together. We talked about what information and data facilities people had to make this easy. And I'm not going to expect you to read all the content here today, but basically the answers weren't good. The majority of responses came back saying we're not particularly clear about our strategy. We don't cascade them particularly effectively. We're ineffective at prioritisation. We're not particularly good at establishing and managing against key results. And while we have a lot of IT and a lot of solutions, we don't really have an IT platform for strategy delivery. These were significant issues, and it's not difficult to appreciate why we have difficulty in strategy delivery. So what's the path forward to improving strategy delivery? Well, we can improve project delivery, and we should, absolutely. But improving project delivery is not the only factor that's going to affect improving strategy delivery. I propose to you that the right approach for improving strategy delivery is to build a strong connective fabric between strategic intent and all forms of delivery through the organisation, and from strategy to delivery and back again. So we create the fabric, create the capability, establish the connections, and manage performance. And my proposal to you is that you consider business integrated governance as a framework to help you achieve this with. We haven't got time to present business integrated governance to you today, but we can outline it and signpost you to where you can find out more. The purpose of business integrated governance is to support you with integration from business purpose to vision to strategy and delivery. The idea is that we integrate and coordinate across all delivery domains, from operational business as usual, value creation, product management, and change, project and program management. And there is a body of knowledge which describes concepts to discuss this with, principles to understand the current and future state, components to build, a life cycle to follow, the enabling processes and tools that you might wish to use, some of which we include in BIG, but most of which we refer to in portfolio management, in strategy management, in resource management, and so on. In a nutshell, past the concepts and the principles, BIG has a number of components within it which talk about what you need to build and operate to successfully connect from strategy to delivery. An effective organization, fit for purpose governance operations, a solid platform of information and data, a revised and invigorated approach to accountability, business support to help people function the right way, assurance to check that they do, and strong leadership to expect how we behave and to fund how we operate. More of this in the Big CIC website. Well, that's all, folks. If you want to investigate BIG further, which I propose to you you might if you're not content with your strategy delivery, then you can find out more on the links here. You can participate in our LinkedIn group. You can become a member and access all the rich contents that we've shared. You can help us make BIG better. And you can access the reports and the recordings from the previous 2 APIM events I referred to.